Hello, and welcome back to the Masters mod. Last time we got through Galgazet, and now we're finally in Zanarkand. Now, the saves aren't as common as they were in the cave, so we have to be a little sparing on the MP, but it's definitely not as bad as the mountain itself, so yeah, we can still use what we need to. Things like the Dark Flan will definitely need MP usage, whether it's by shutting it down with a Silence Buster, or Threaten. But then also magic damage is very good against it. Then you could slow it down with an armor break too. But in this case, really, if you don't use your MP and you really kind of commit to it, then the thing will survive, it'll heal, and it'll maybe silence proof itself, and then you're just at square one with completely wasted resources. So yeah, you got to commit to the bit and actually use what you got. Another returning customer is the Behemoths. Remember, they have a lot of counterattacks now, and both their physical and magic damage is very high. So again, with them, I'll actually just shut them down with sleep and poison, and then also magic while they're asleep. So you don't have to worry about the meteor yet, so that's great. Now, the most annoying thing to deal with on this road is the giant flying eyeballs again. Now, can one-shot them with units full life, but that costs a lot of MP. So if you run into a bunch of them, your unit will run out of MP. So yeah, again, with them you can use Phoenix Downs or Alchemy Phoenix Downs, but that can be a little expensive. It turns out now Waka out-damages the damage physically with his normal attack, so that's great. But yeah, really when it comes down to it, it's probably best to Sleep Buster at once with Waka, so that way it has some damage, and then hit it with someone who can hit a little harder. Now the Dual Horn also, you really don't want him to get a turn, so if you shut him down with Blindness, then he probably won't hit you, but then when he does his charging, then you can send him to sleep, so that way he won't do his big Fire Breath attack. Now when the eyeballs are paired up with the Ogres, you have one more step to do if you don't just hit it with a full life, and that is to sleep the Ogre or threaten the Ogre. Basically just make it so that he can't shield the eye, and then when you do hit the eye with Waka, that'll be fine. But again, with the Ogre, make sure that you keep him blind so it doesn't constantly counterattack and just knock your guys out. But really the lesson to learn for all these random encounters, if you haven't already, is yeah, you really gotta use your ailments. So Waka doesn't have MP problems anymore now that he has Osmos, and since I used that MP sphere on him way back when, and then also giving Riku Sleep Buster and a sleep weapon is just so powerful. So really, just spam out those ailments. They really bail you out of so many situations. Especially if you get your battle formation all switched up in between every fight, making sure that your first strike characters are on the line, and then Waka and Riku and Kamari are off that front line, so they can quickly switch in and shut something down. Even the ambushes, like, as long as you have your priorities straight and a good formation, you can probably survive most everything. That's why I'm not even talking about these soldiers, because really, all I have to do is put one to sleep and then blind the other two, and they'll just never hit me. What is a threat, however, are the artillery machina, especially when it has a 2 with the kicker up front. Now, a must with this is slowing the artillery and then hastening up Lulu, and if you can, getting Riku on the front line too. Now, Lulu's tier 3 magic can do a good amount of damage, but she cannot do it alone, especially if there's 2 of them. So with that, if you get Riku in this mod, her magic is actually very strong. So when she does a copycat with Lulu's magic, it's a decent amount of damage. So a hasted Lulu plus Riku copycat plus Waka, that can do a decent amount. Then if you really need some extra damage, then Yuna can come in and use a offensive item too. Just remember that the kickers are actually 0 threat on their own, so as long as there's nothing to back them up and take out that last HP, then you really don't have to worry. Just leave them till last, and it'll be perfectly fine. Just really focus down those artillery. Then, by far the most dangerous encounter on the road is the Defender X. Now, This is where you spam out the entrusts and the overdrives to Kamari and Orin, so that way you can just get them out of there and not have to fight them at all. But if you are forced to fight them, then yeah, Dark Buster is a must, so that way a lot of the counterattacks or the normal physical attacks don't connect. And then also if you get an armor break in, that's great, but really, yeah, just take it slow. Make sure that you're ready and get the magic damage. Remember that Demi works great, especially at the beginning of the fight, so that way when it has a lot of HP, then it'll, do a lot of damage. It does less damage as it has less health. Just make sure that Yuna's on hand so that you don't have to use all of your revives, because yeah, that blast punch, you're gonna need it. Of course, never turn down the treasure that's on the road, because yeah, all those items, though they're not super glamorous, I mean, they're gonna be useful, because you really do need to use your items along this mod. Now we are on to the next boss, and I'll say as a quick hint, because even though I always do like to say, hey, you should try this out yourself first, just remember who got the Berserk proof drop from the Wendigo fight. In my case, it was Lulu. Now, this fight is really cool, with the boss always countering the 3 squares, and you really needing to worry about both positioning and then also like some statuses like Berserk. It's a bit of a handful, especially with it healing if it actually hits you with the counterattack. But by now you should probably know my favorite opening strategy. Intentionally slowing Orin, hasting Titus, Lulu, and Riku, and then just throwing all the demis in the world at it. Now, it's not enough damage to completely trivialize the fight, but it does a large sum of it. But the last move that I do with out retaliation is making sure to get that power break on him. So that's finally Wakka's power break can actually come in clutch. Now, again, with the amount of counters that he has and the fact that he heals from the counters, always going for quad 9 for whoever happens to be in front of him, the last thing that you want to do is give him more HP and completely wipe out your party. So when the boss's positioning is bad and he's facing a party member, then definitely make sure to either move everyone out of the way if you can. Something even better than that would be throwing out a haste or protect, or even a cheer or a heal is good too. Whenever somebody gets hit by the tail with their statuses, make sure that you throw out an Asuna. Remember that in this mod, Kamari already knows Asuna, so that's great. And then also that if you get berserked and hit the thing, then it'll attack back, and if you're in a bad spot, then yeah, you really do not want to heal it. Another thing to make the fight go a lot faster is to get an armor break off on it. Only problem is getting Orin out of the fight after that, because turn order is so important. So if you use my strategy, just remember to re-haste Orin, so that way after his armor break you can get him out of there so he's not a liability. Now when the glyphs activate, really my biggest thing is to make sure that somebody with Asuna, so Kamari or Yuna, preferably hasted, is on the safe panel, and then make sure that whoever you have Berserk proof is on one of the unsafe panels. One thing that's actually kind of nice about the mod is that now the panels, when they do go off under you, they will not take you down. They will take out a sizable chunk of HP and berserk you, but that's not the issue. The issue is actually the doom. So just make sure that if you're using the character a lot, that you know when you're gonna have to revive them. Maybe you could throw an auto life on them. But as long as your Asuna people are hasted, you should be able to handle basically whatever ailments come at you. Just make sure that you look at the turn order so you kind of prioritize who's going to get healed first. And even though this guy has a pretty predictable attack pattern, or pretty set attack pattern, you can still get really screwed by the RNG of the glyphs, whichever one ends up being the safe one. So as you kind of want to go through as few cycles as you can. Now, don't forget your level ups, because yeah, Orin gets Sentinel now, which is fantastic, because next episode is going to be all Unalesca. But that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and yeah, if you like the video, I like your face. Bye-bye.
Now! This is it! Now is the time to choose. Die and be free of pain, or live and fight your sorrow. Now is the time to shape your stories. Your fate is in your hands.